We shipped our first game and it was very successful. We even got nominated as Best Game Latin America at Gamescom Latam 2025. We thought we had it all figured out, but in the process, we lost more than 30,000 euros. And after a while making our second game, we completely failed. The following is a fragment from the next course I'm creating about how to build a sustainable indie studio. It will tell you the story of my studio and some information about why so many indie studios never get to ship their second game. If you're interested in the course, comment below and stay tuned for more information. The statistics are clear. About 80% of all indie games are never shipped. And somehow, those who actually manage to ship never get to ship the second game. Now, why is it that most indie developers never ship their games? The truth is, it has nothing to do with talent or creativity, but with structure. Let me tell you a story. How I got into game development. I've been in the software development industry for about 10 years. In this, I focus mostly on production systems and methodologies to make the software produced and released as fast as possible with the best quality. During this time, I tried many different entrepreneur side quests, since my goal was always to be able to create things for my own. At some point, I started designing my own games. I was about to publish my first board game when a friend of mine came to me with a request. He just built his own indie studio. He got some funding and he was about to release his first game. But he was in chaos. He didn't know how to actually ship a game. He understood how to create the game. He knew the programming tools. He had all the creativity, very talented. But the system that could allow him to actually ship the game on time and within the budget was missing. That's when I came into the production and development of Duck Paradox. While working on this game, I realized that even though everyone in the team was very talented, there were artists, programmers, audio engineer, testers, they didn't have a system that could make them work together correctly. So I implemented my knowledge from software into the game development realm, and it worked pretty well. We ended up having a system that not only managed to have the game on time without having any trouble with the publisher, but we also proved that the team could ship with its own abilities just by having some structure. And this is one of the main problems that most indie studios have. You see, they might think that the path is something similar to what I'm saying, but at some point, eventually, they end up in the trap that makes them diverge from that idea. Instead of having a clear scope, the scope starts opening up. New ideas come. New features appear. The feedback from friends and from random tests done around make the developers believe they have to do much more than what they were doing before, and they forget the path they were taking. And this takes me to the second part of my story. How our studio ended up failing. After the success of Duck Paradox, we even got nominated as Best Game Latin America at Gamescom Latam 2025. Everything was going very well. We had a new structure, a new system that we were going to use to make all our next games, make the games quickly in a period of about 6 months to a year. Each game adding to the experience of the next one until we had a full range of games that had a little bit of to do with the other ones, and that we can reuse everything on each one, compounding all of the knowledge and the earnings to make the studio sustainable. But at some point, we lost our track. We were first of all trying to make games that were proven by our people to be fun. But then we fell in love with a specific idea. The idea of a game that we didn't prove, but that we thought it would be amazing. We started working on this idea. We took about a year and used about 30,000 euros working on the project until we eventually realized it was not gonna be a 6 months to 1 year project. It was gonna take us many years, a lot of effort, and there was no way to prove that it would actually be successful. Without any money left, we had to stop working together, and this game never came out. And this is a reality that happens to most indie studios. And it's why I made this course, to help you not fall into that trap and actually make the ultimate studio that actually works. Followed by examples of real studios that are successfully doing it. It doesn't have to be an exact formula, but with what I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be able to do your own system, your own path, inspired by what I'm gonna tell you, that it's gonna help you have that your way. The way that you can continue making games for as long as you want in your life. During the rest of this course, we're going to focus on that mindset shift, on that correct development order from idea all the way to shipping, and from this system that's gonna make it repeatable. All of it with a release preparation process that increases the chances of success and makes it so every game that you make is a win that you can celebrate. There's so many studios that take years making one game, and in the end, because they don't have the numbers they were expecting of their masterpiece, they cannot celebrate and they feel like a failure. With this mindset and this master plan, we're gonna make it so regardless of that, you can always celebrate as a win the game that you actually finally got out and made. With this, I want you to think about that game idea you have or that project you're working on, and see how is it possible to release that game as soon as possible. Instead of thinking about all of the things that you want the game to have, think about when is exactly going to come out, if you have an idea of what that can be. To do this, maybe instead of thinking all the different little gimmicks and ideas that you have for the game, remember one big thing. 20% of all the features of everything inside of your game are going to represent 80% of the fun and of what people like of your game. This is something that happens in most realms of any kind in the world. It doesn't matter if it's related to how many games ship. It doesn't matter if it's about how much mass the stars in the universe have, or how much wood the trees in a forest have. In any case, 20% is what gives 80% of the results. This is something that I also used mostly on my software development career to understand what were the features that the software needed to have. So if you also use this in your mind for this mindset, you would realize that that 20% is probably the main mechanics of your game. And if these main mechanics are good enough, they're fun enough, that it's everything you need for the release of your first game. Everything else can come in a next iteration, can come in a next game, can be used in another version that you will make later. But for now, focus on this mindset, the mindset of releasing and publishing your games. And also think about how confident you are that you can actually make it. Realize that the more certain and specific plan you have, the whole process of your game, the more confidence you're going to gain from actually making it and knowing that regardless of anything, you're going to be able to celebrate that day. That was a fragment of the course I'm working on right now. If you liked it, please give a like and subscribe so you can stay tuned for more information on when it's going to come out. And remember, creativity starts games, but structure finishes them.